Funding can be one of the challenging elements of a company. Every company needs money to start off with. Some need more, some need less. And it can be quite a challenge to find. The biggest thing is to research what funding you actually need. Because you may need just a little bit of collateral to get you going. You may need big investment money. You may need investment for a prototype. You may need investment to get people on board because you can't do it yourself. And each one of those different elements or different types of funding will have a different funder involved, whether it's a bank, whether it's a financial institution like BFS, who's one of our partners. The trick is, do your research, find out what you need and what you need it for, and be able to tell the story of what you need it for as well. And that comes down from having a good, succinct business plan as well.
Sometimes they're looking for finance, for capital to buy a piece of machinery, as an example, or sometimes it's revenue funding. Sometimes it's working capital. So what do they need the funding for? Because this needs to be addressed in the business plan, and they need to look for the right kind of finance or funding for it.
Once you've got that, then get professional advice is the best way, because there's so many different elements out there. Get some advice as to what's out there as well. People like us at the Growth Hub, or you've got access to finance as well, can all give you different ideas of what funding is actually out there and available to you.
There's different type of finance. If you are a private business, for example, you're probably not going to find pure grants. You are going to have to look at a loan, a bank loan. So you may want to go to your bank, first of all. There are other options. We work, for example, with a startup loan in Greater Manchester, and we provide support to businesses by helping them develop their business plan and then present the business plan and cash flow to the startup loan. There are other options as well. If somebody's looking for quite a lot of money, if it's an innovative business, we would look for the kind of competitions or funding that exists in that market. If it's quite a lot of money, they may want to look at an investor, so we would prepare people towards that.
And bear in mind that once you do present this to a potential funder, you're going to have to defend it. You're going to have to justify the figures. So make sure you know these inside out. Thereafter, there are probably three initial possible sources of funding. There's grant funding, although there aren't too many of those around. There's bank funding by way of loans or overdraft, or the special government scheme, the startup loan scheme.
Shop around, find out the different options, find out what the cost is. The cost may not just be monetary in repaying that money. It may be what you're giving up in the business. And make sure it's a fair deal for all parties.
The government has introduced a startup loan scheme, which is specifically aimed at entrepreneurs that are looking to start up in business. The great beauty of this scheme is that there's a certain amount of flexibility, which isn't to say it's a soft option, but it's not quite as hidebound as the banks might be. It doesn't specifically look at your past track record, acknowledging that maybe as a startup entrepreneur you don't have that.